The one big mistake that is making you feel colder in the freezing cold, besides the cold itself, is the way you dress. This video is about how to dress in layers properly, what those layers should be, how exactly they work, and what is the trick behind layering up properly. I will also share 2 practical tips that will allow you to stay outside in extreme cold much longer and feel much warmer. For those who don't know, I live in northern Ontario, and it is not uncommon for us to get -40 in the winter. Some winters we get weeks of it. And a few years back, when I was raising a cattle, it was not uncommon for me to go outside in freezing cold, strong winds, sometimes for hours, to fix something that could not wait. Because animals, especially the large ones, break stuff all the time. So everything I'm sharing today isn't a theory I read somewhere. It is something I had to learn myself and apply to stay warmer and to be able to work. But before we get into the details and the practical advice, let's clear something very important. Cold is not just another weather condition. Cold is a predator that will try to get you the moment you step into its territory. It will try to rob you energy and your heat, and it will do everything it can to make you surrender. Which brings me to the first issue, the wind. You know how weather reports, they give you 2 temperatures. One is the real temperature, and the second one is feels like temperature. Now, the wind doesn't technically make the weather colder, but your body stays warm by trapping a thin layer of a heated air between your skin and your clothing. That trapped air is what really keeps you warm. What wind does, it strips that warm air away and replaces it with the cold air. And it does it time after time after time. So now your body has to constantly reheat that new cold air, burning more and more energy. That's why strong wind feels like it cuts through your bones. The next thing is sweating. When dressed well and working outside, like I am doing right now, in a heavy clothing, you heat up real fast. Sweat itself isn't a problem, as long as your base layer can absorb it and keep it from reaching the cold air. You are fine. But if that moisture reaches the outer layer and gets exposed to freezing air, it becomes drastically worse than losing a warm air. I was reading research some time ago, and water conducts heat away from your body at about 25 times faster than an air. Which means wet clothing can pull heat out of your body incredibly fast. This is one of the fastest ways to get dangerously cold. That being said, both of the problems I mentioned previously could be managed with proper layering. When it's freezing cold outside, you should always aim to wear at least 3 layers. You can do more, but 3 is the bare minimum. Your very first layer should be something light and tight to your body. Its main job is to take sweat and any body evaporation away from your body and dry quickly. So t-shirt made of materials like merino wool or moisture-wicking synthetic fabric works real well. The one thing I would like to warn you about is to not wear anything made of cotton as your base layer. Don't get me wrong, cotton is incredible fabric. It feels good on your skin, it's light, and can absorb water up to 25 times to its weight. The problem with cotton, it doesn't dissipate that water quickly, which in the freezing cold becomes dangerous very fast. Survivalists have a saying, cotton kills, and that's for a good reason. Your second layer is your insulation layer. It should be able to create and hold a thick loft for warm air. If you can get your hands on a wool sweatshirt, this will be your best choice. If not, then fleece or any thermal clothing will do a good job as well. Thermal clothing does pretty much the same as the wool. Usually they have outer layer to keep the cold air out and warm air in, and often they are water resistant. The second or first layer, you can have as many as you want. The more, the better. There's absolutely no problem wearing 2 t-shirts or even to sweatshirts. Because when it's freezing, you have to do what you have to do. Finally, the third layer is the one that faces elements and the outside. It should be warm and windproof. And it also should keep warm air in and cold air out. Some people suggest waterproof, but you don't have rain in freezing cold. Usually no humidity in the air either. And even snow feels dry to the touch when it's really cold outside. Most of the winter jackets rated to -40 will do the job. And of course, don't forget the footwear. It should be rated to -40 as well. Cold feet and warm body is not the combination you want to have. This will keep you warm and safe. However, if you find yourself in a situation that requires you to stay outside in the freezing cold for longer hours because life decided that today it has a different plans for your day, you can add two other things that will keep you warmer and allow you to stay for much longer. First thing is the heat patches. Those things are super cheap, and for the cost of less than $1, will provide the heat for hours, and you can use as many of them as you want. They usually take 20 minutes to kick in and start heating, but will heat for 10 to 12 hours straight. But be careful, some of them get really hot, so put them on your first layer instead on your skin directly. The beauty with them is that you can heat not just your body, but your hands, your legs, and any other part. I don't have one available right now to show you, but in the past, when I had to spend hours outside in the winter, they are no more, no less, but a lifesavers. The second thing is the battery heated jackets. Like, you know, the one that Milwaukee does, and I'm sure other brands do. You can choose the level of heat, and with a good sized battery, they will keep you warm for up to 8 hours. I know somebody who works in construction, and he swears by them. According to him, he can go in -10, -15, wearing only t-shirt and the jacket and stay for 3-4 hours outside feeling warm without any problem. I asked him about it, and he was like, it's the best way to stay warm. By the way, if you have any dressing suggestions for freezing cold, please share them down below in the comments. And if you like the video, please support the channel by subscribing and liking this video. And we will talk very soon.